Well, I want to talk now about Keir Starmer, this U-turn, Labour's problems that they're clearly having in the polls. Farage as well has been talking about this today, as have many other people. This U-turn has been welcomed by many other political parties, including areas where these elections are happening. There's a list of 30 of them where they were told the elections are being postponed, cancelled, however you want to call it. Worthing Borough Council was one of them, and those elections were to be postponed. One of the people affected is Councillor Hilary Schan, who is an independent on that council for the Tarring ward. Hilary, you're very welcome to the programme this afternoon. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Peter. Hi.
Hilary, I am fairly sure that we probably don't agree on a huge amount. What we do agree on is that democracy is really, really important. And I want to pay tribute to you and anybody else who stands for election. It's a big thing. It's a tough thing. Your life's under scrutiny. Your social media is under scrutiny. It can be difficult for your job. It can be difficult for your kids. There are loads of different ways it can be a difficult thing. But now we have a government who wanted to stop local elections for this reorganisation of local government. Worthing was affected by that. What's it been like for you, Hilary, and other people like you over the last few months? Because you've been told one thing, then there's been the U-turn, this legal action from Reform UK. Just talk me through what you think about this and what it's been like.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a huge period of upheaval and uncertainty, which is not what local government needs anyway. But we had an extraordinary meeting in January of this year where, amazingly, the Labour Party managed to unite Reform, the Conservatives, the Greens and Independents, all against this outrageous decision to stifle local democracy. And whatever side of the chamber you might sit on, local government reorganisation, capacity issues, whatever it may be, is absolutely no excuse to delay people's fundamental right to vote.
Without sending us all into a coma from which we may not recover, what, not that you would do that, Hilary, of course, what is the actual reorganisation that is needed in your area? How will it be different after that reorganisation?
Yeah, so I mean, the concept of devolution, I think, is fairly sound. At the moment, we have a two-tier council authority, so nobody ever knows who's responsible for your potholes versus emptying your bins and that kind of thing. So it is about a realignment and making things a smoother process and putting things all under one roof. But the other thing is that this has been hugely rushed through. We were also supposed to have a mayoral election happening, which has now been kicked down the road. So, this really is a disaster of Labour's own making. It's just another example of short-sightedness, ill-preparedness, and they're making their own councillors look stupid at the end of the day.
How have they reacted to it? Have they maybe even said to you privately, actually, this is a bit of a shambles?
I mean, it was very obvious, to be honest, when we had the extraordinary meeting. There were some very sheepish faces, but the state of the Labour Party at the moment is that you get people who very obviously look like they don't agree, but there's such a three-line whip that they have no alternative but to agree in public. And that's a really devastating thing in itself for local democracy, because people feel that they can't trust their politicians to act honestly.
What's been the reaction from your constituents? First they're told you're not having an election, then they're told they are having an election. We know, and you know far better than I do, that sometimes turnout in local elections isn't as high as we would like it to be. People may not feel that much changes. People may not feel that investment in their local council is even worth turning up at the polling station or even sending a postal vote in. So, I mean, what do you think that will do to people's attitude to local government, and particularly Worthing Borough Council?
I think what was really interesting is, as you say, we do often have a lack of engagement in local government, but such is the anger out there with this Labour government and people feeling let down, that voted for change, that have seen absolutely no change, just more of the same. They were actually desperate to have an opportunity to cast their vote this time around and to protest against the state of this country and what the Labour Party is doing to it. And so I think we will have a higher turnout this time around. And I suspect that we will see people going to, either to the right, to Reform, or, as I would prefer, choosing to go more to the left with the Green Party, I suspect.
I wonder as well with this, what it's like for you if you're standing as an independent, for example, getting the posters sorted, getting your boots on the ground, Clearly, it's easier if you're in a larger grouping, if you have more people who are, if you're the Labour grouping on your council, for example, they have more foot soldiers who can knock the doors. I'm sure you have a very crack team that manages to get an independent elected as well. But on the practicality of it all, it must be very frustrating. And I mean, you do, but I don't know what your fundraising situation is, but I know that even for a local council, that you've got to put some money into it, you've got to put some effort into it, you've got to book time off. There'll be people behind the scenes at Worthing Borough Council, as with many other councils as well, whose job it is to organise these things. They might have, de-booked the local sports hall or whatever and now had to rebook it as well. There's practicality in all of this, isn't there?
Yeah, there absolutely is. And I mean, I've spoken about this, that there's a lot of socialist independents like myself who left the Labour Party and are now aligning ourselves more with Jeremy Corbyn's new party, your party, for exactly that reason. We want a political entity that represents us. And the way that the political system works at the moment is that it's almost impossible for independents to campaign against the large party machines. So yeah, absolutely.
So does this make it harder? Does this toing and froing make it even harder to do that?
Of course it does, yeah. It makes it impossible for people. And, councillors do this, on very, very low allowances, often have full-time jobs, caring responsibilities, whatever else it may be. And so it really flies in the face of supporting people to go into local government when you keep messing them around like this.
Just before you go, Hilary, tell me, why are you a socialist?
I'm a socialist because I believe in social justice and equality, and I believe that everybody should be able to live a fulfilling life, and there shouldn't be people that have got more money than everybody else just because they were born into it.
Okay, Hilary, we could have a much longer conversation about all of that, but nonetheless, I want to thank you today for that. I wish you well, as well as Councillor Hilary Schan there. He's an independent councillor at Worthing Borough Council. We don't often have socialists here thinking of joining your party on this station, but the point she makes about socialism I disagree with, but all the other points she makes I think are probably pretty well founded, certainly when it comes to local elections. It's something Paul